What's going on, Canes fam? And I know some of you guys right now are like, Coop's talking about recruiting. That's not normal. He doesn't do that. You're right. I really don't get that deep into recruiting. Now, listen, it's not that recruiting's not a big deal. Without recruiting, we don't have a future football team. So recruiting is a huge deal. But I don't focus on it or put out a ton of videos on it because, just to be honest with you guys, it's pretty difficult to keep up with it. There's so much flip-flopping that goes on, especially nowadays and with social media. So I don't focus on it too much. I more so focus on guys that are on the squad now. The guys, the players that are repping the U on their chest as we speak. They are on the team. But this guy did catch my eye. Justin Flowe from Upland, California. The number 3 overall prospect in the country for the 2020 class. And as far as I'm aware, the number 1 linebacker for the class of 2020. He released his top 4 schools, and Miami was on that list. Now, before we dive real deep into this video, I would like to let you guys know that I do have a join button on this channel now. It should be beside the subscribe button down below to the left or right of it, or it might be below it. If you're already subscribed, I think it shows my amount of subs, and there might be a button you have to click to open it up, but it will be a little small blue button that says join. What that does is it directly supports the channel. It's 100% optional, never required, but it does directly support the channel. And there are some perks when you do it. You actually get a U beside your name, a little logo, anytime you comment on a live stream video or on any uploads. When you leave a comment below, if you're a member of the Canes fam and you click the join button, you'll have a U beside your name. And you get special emotes you can use during live streams. And there's other little cool perks that come along with it. But I would appreciate the support if you guys check it out. But again, it is always optional, never required. So Justin Flowe, the 5-star inside linebacker from Upland, California, was really big on USC. Everybody thought he was going to USC. He releases his top 4, and what do you know? USC is not even on the list. His final 4 is as follows: Miami, Oregon, Georgia, or Clemson. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to talk about what Miami would need to do to land this recruit, to get Justin Flowe. But I also would like to touch on some of these other schools and talk about why he might choose them over Miami. So let's take a look at this list. Let's start with Clemson. Oh, Clemson. National champions in 2018. I mean, that pretty much, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really don't need to say much more than that. The bottom line is they win football games, and that's a big deal. I mean, if you put yourself in any recruit's shoes, you want to go to a football team that's proven, a football team that wins games, because let's just be honest here, that puts you in an even better position when the team looks good. You know, it means that the coaches are doing what they need to do to develop these players. It means you're going to be well coached and developed, and increases your chances of going to the NFL, which is probably your end goal. So Clemson absolutely has a shot at landing Justin Flowe. They win football games, period. It's as simple as that. So let's talk about Georgia a little bit. Georgia, as we all know, typically comes up short at the end of the day. But overall, they win a lot of football games, and winning feels good. We just talked about Clemson, who wins a lot of football games. Georgia is also in the SEC. They play a lot of primetime, under the lights type of games. I mean, they play Alabama. They play Auburn. They play LSU. They play a lot of these highly ranked opponents that gives you an opportunity to show how good you are against these highly ranked opponents. As much as I'm an ACC guy, there are a lot of SEC guys, and a lot of times, let's be honest here, SEC kind of gets favored by a lot of networks and a lot of polls and rankings and things. Let's just be real. So yeah, Georgia is definitely in the mix. I think if it came down to Georgia or Clemson, I think he's taking Clemson. Now don't forget though, there are still 2 other schools on this list. let's talk about Oregon a little bit. The only thing, honestly, that I think Oregon brings to the table is that they're closer to home. They're out west. And the fact that they get to rock a different uniform combo pretty much every week. Oregon has the most linebackers currently signed on their roster, so that equals less chance to have an opportunity to start. No matter how good he is, I know he's a 5-star, he's the #1 inside linebacker, I get it. But they still have the most linebackers on their roster. That's that many more guys that you have to beat out to win that starting job. So moving on to the final school on the list, you know we got to save the best for last, Miami. How does Miami convince Justin Flowe to come down to South Florida and be a Cane? I'm going to give you guys some reasons why I think Miami is a big contender and some things that Miami needs to do to make this happen. So let's take a look at the 2019 recruiting class for Miami. We signed 2, maybe 3 linebackers if you count Jalen Phillips, who used the transfer portal to come to Miami. I know there's stuff being tossed out there that he might play defensive end, but he's listed as a linebacker. So 2 or 3 linebackers in the 2019 recruiting class for Miami. Miami also has the least amount of linebackers currently on the roster versus all of the other schools on this list. Again, I realize he's a competitor. He's a football player. But it is still less competition. It's less guys to beat out at the end of the day to win that starting job. Also keep in mind that Miami has 3 of their big-time linebackers leaving after the 2019 season. They're seniors. They're gone. So that spot is open and up for grabs at Miami. And honestly, here's the bottom line. At the end of the day, if you win games, you'll land the big-time recruits. It's as simple as that. You can have the coolest campus. You can be on the beach. You can have all these different various perks that comes with a kid going to school at your college. But if you don't win football games, why would they want to come play for you? So at the end of the day, what I think needs to happen for Miami to land Justin Flowe, hear me out. Miami needs to have a pretty good season in 2019 to convince him. But the real icing on the cake, what really needs to happen at the end of the day, is for Miami to make it to the ACC championship game and put up a fight against Clemson. Because hear me out, Miami already has the swag. We already have the history. As I said, these aren't huge, important things, but you're playing football in paradise. Let's be real, okay? So we've already got all those bases covered. The only thing we need to worry about to land these big-time recruits like Justin Flowe is to win some football games. And hear me out, I'm serious. I don't think we even necessarily have to beat Clemson. Now, that'd be real nice. That pretty much puts a check mark on Miami. That's where he's going. But we have to at least make it a game. If we go back to like we did in the 2017 season and we just get our booty spanked by Clemson, we get embarrassed, that's the last impression he would see. Let's say it came down to Miami or Clemson. Let's say he goes and attends the ACC championship game and Clemson blows us out like they did in 2017. Which school do you think he's going to? Even Canes fans, be real with me in the comment section. Which school would he choose? He's going to Clemson. Let's be real. I'm being real with you right now. He's going to Clemson if that happens. If Miami goes to the ACC championship game and at least puts up a fight, at least makes it a competition here, a football game, he'll probably go to Miami. That's what it would take to get Justin Flowe to go to Miami. I'm not predicting and saying that he will go. I don't know. Like I said, recruiting, that's why I don't do too many recruiting videos, because there's so much flip-flopping. Who knows? He says this is his Final Four. Listen, I like the kid, but he might have a different Final Four next week. Let's just be real. It's the days of Twitter and Instagram and flip-flopping with recruiting. It is what it is. But leave a comment down below and let me know how you feel about this. Let me know what you think about Justin Flowe. Maybe we'll react to some of his highlights or something. I haven't watched him, but I've just read up on him a little bit. And he seems like a pretty good football player. A born linebacker, man. He came out the womb ready to play linebacker. That's what it sounds like. But just let me know down in the comment section below. That's it for this video, guys. I'm pumped. Listen, you guys see the gator behind me. You guys know I'm pumped about August 24th. If you missed the live stream where I took care of that gator right there behind me, a little link will pop up above my head right here. Go check it out. It was in the first 10 minutes of the stream. Man, things get crazy around here. And it's going to be, it's going to be straight up party mode this season on this channel. So if you haven't done so already, click that little subscribe button. You know I mentioned the join button if you want to check that out. Appreciate the support, guys. Remember, we are all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.